What is going on, guys? This is Aiden and welcome back to Elden Ring. We're going to be doing another FPS test today. So what I've done is I've upgraded my system with a Ryzen 7 5800X. And so we're going to be testing to see if there are any frame drops. Now I'm already noticing that we're getting a stable 60 most of the time. But we're going to check. So this staircase leading up to this door is one place for a drop. So we're going to watch our FPS counter for that. And as you can see there was definitely a bit of a drop. A little bit of a stutter as we approached the door there, which is the loading zone. So I think that the main thing that's causing the drops is actually when it has to shader a new object. So every time a new object comes up or a new effect comes up, the shader has to run, or rather compile for it. So it seems to be compiling and it takes a brief hit. So as soon as we get at this door, we're going to start sprinting. Now right now we're running on 1440p max settings with depth of field and motion blur turned off. We're going to drop down here. So on my last video with the i7 6700K, a lot of people mentioned like it's the processor bottlenecking, and that's definitely true, but we're still seeing drops down to like 52 here. I just saw, and this is on a very modern processor. Head over this way. And while I definitely understand that my processor is bottlenecking my CPU, as a lot of people mentioned in comments on the last video, there's also the matter of this game is capped at 60 FPS and is not particularly graphically amazing. You know, it's not exactly high fidelity, though the art style is beautiful and I find the game beautiful. There was another major stutter there. So while I find the game beautiful in its art style, it's not exactly high fidelity. And there's not a lot of physics happening that should be cause for it to be so poorly optimized on older CPUs. And that lands, unfortunately, at the hands of From Software in not optimizing the game properly. There was another stutter there. So we're getting a fair amount of stutters, despite keeping, for the most part, at near 60. Let's get Torrent here.
I can play turning root to 80. You need to the foot. Then it said summon me. I bequeath. Use it. It will summon Torrent. Treat him with.
Leave. And again, dips down to 40, or 52 rather. So we're still getting some pretty decent dips on what I would consider a pretty optimal configuration to play a game like this. Like, we shouldn't have any real troubles. And you can see there that, like, my CPU utilization, not struggling at all. GPU utilization is actually pretty low. Given the graphical settings that we're at. We're getting, 59 to 60 frames most of the time, which is really just a decimal point thing. So 59 is equally good to 60, but yeah, we're definitely getting some drops there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off the video here and then we'll be right back, and I think we're actually gonna check 4K on this as well. So I will be right back. And we're back. So I discovered that I cannot actually record at 4K because I don't have a 4K monitor. So not gonna be doable. What I am gonna do, so these were the settings for our previous, but on 1440p. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch to the low preset. And we got to head over to the main menu to apply some of these. We're going to do that. Head back in and run the same route. Now, I do want to again stress, this is one data point in a massive set of data points. You know, my system is one configuration, and there are so many different permutations. So we're going to run this at 1080p low settings. So we're going to watch for the drop here, and I did notice a stutter there, and we dropped down to about 54. So again, even on 1080p lowest settings with a Ryzen 5800X and an RTX 3080 12GB, we're still having drops, which is not exactly great optimization. Now, a lot of people mentioned that, like, there's an FPS unlock mod, as well as the fact that there's a way to disable the anti-cheat engine if you just decide to play offline. And those are true. And you can definitely pump out more performance if you mod the game. But what we're going for is, what is the stock experience on this game that people are going to get out of the box? Because not everybody is going to go out and search for mods and want to modify their game in order to get the best experience possible. They're going to expect that the developer gives them good performance. Now, we're staying at like 59, 60 FPS as we go right here, which is good. But I do still expect some drops. And we are still like hitting down at 58 sometimes. And again, both of our CPU and GPU are they're not working hard here. You know, this is clearly an engine optimization, possibly the anti-cheat, giving us these issues here. So, with patch 1.02.2, is the stuttering gone? No. Is the FPS better? I mean, maybe? But I'm pretty confident in saying that the FPS stutters are still around. They may be less frequent, though. And if you're not a person that's sensitive to that, then I could see it being very acceptable to play at this point.
Use it. It will summon Torrent. Treat him with...
All in all, I'm still going to keep playing the PS4 version on the PS5, but that's more so because I have made so much progress in it. And let's see here if we get more drops. So I did notice another drop there. It's only going down by like, 5-6 frames, but it's dropping when it realistically has no right to. Even if they just added a little shader compilation that happens the first time you run the game. Compile the shaders, keep them on the drive somewhere, and then just load them into RAM. Or at least have it as an option. Throw something in the options menu that you can have that in there. Because as it stands, there's still definitely stutters and frame dips that could be avoided with better optimization, in my opinion. The other super weird thing that I've noticed about this game, and it doesn't happen with any of my other games on Steam, is when I quit out of the game, and then I fully exit the game, I get the app sort of stays, I'm not going to show it here, but the app stays running for like a full minute. Now you can see here that I'm on app version 1.02.3. I will be using 1.02.2 in the title. That's because there were no performance enhancements made on 1.02.3. It was like a controller fix or something in the patch notes. But that should just about cover everything. I look forward to, discussing this in the comments, but again, I cannot stress enough, this is but one data point. Don't take it as me saying, oh, this is what the game is for everybody. You may have a better experience, you may have a worse experience, depending on your system configuration and many, many other factors. But with that, thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button. Feel free to subscribe for more content, and we will see you next time.